Okay, welcome back. And my guest this morning is Femi Babafemi, Director of Media and Advocacy, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. And we've been, he's been giving us something of a background to the schedule, the nature of the schedule. Now, we spend quite a bit of time on what people refer to in other climes as soft drugs. We don't know any such thing. These are drugs that we have a zero tolerance to. So not soft, they're not soft. In people who are even saying that some of those drugs are not addictive, we've just heard from Femi that not so. That's not true. On the contrary. But here we are. I wanted to take this opportunity to say, okay, leave all those ones to one side, which we're going to come and deal with. Your latest operation or bust, or what should I call it? It's something about, as I recall now, a celebrity couple and a famous prophetess. When that broke, I was amused when even though as I was paying, but I was also amused when I saw on social media some people commenting that, hey, now you brought all of these ones, you are mentioning names left, right, and center, and but when something like this happened in Ikorodu, when you found something in Ikorodu, we've not heard anything about that one again, implying that you are not being even-handed in how you prosecute these issues.
No, it's because I mean, if there's anything the NDLEA has also done very well, it's about opening up the operations of the agency and making available information every time. So we don't have anything to hide. We're not covering anything. Okay. We're not shielding anybody.
Gone are the days of corruption in NDLEA.
No.
Those are old.
Those things are dealt with decisively. Okay. If there is any link of anybody to anything.
Because, sorry to interrupt you, somebody said something that I was going to pick up on, but I didn't want to disturb your flow. It was about, it was George. When George called in, before evidence gets missing. Now, I just noticed that aspect of his commentary.
Okay.
Can evidence get missing in NDLEA?
Well, it's but not in the new NDLEA. That I can tell you, because
so he knew what he was talking about in the old.
You see, I don't want to say that categorically because you must have evidence. Okay, you must be able to have. I mean, you must have evidence before you make such claims or allegations. But then, what I know is the fact that the measures put in place by the leadership, by the current leadership of it's extremely difficult for anybody to tamper with evidence. Okay. Because what are the evidence? I mean, the evidence itself is the drug seizures, the exhibits. And these things, they were housed in the exhibit rooms. The systems like not a single person has access to that place. Before you can access the place.
It's like a safe that requires multiple keys at the same time.
That's exactly. So it's just like a bank account that you have
so many different
signatories. So you can't access. Beyond that, there are other mechanisms in place that even that you are here, for instance, let's say Lagos State Command, there is a unit within the agency that reports directly to the Shama called the Shama Monitoring Task Force, Special Monitoring Task Force. And they are everywhere, but you don't know who they are.
I see.
So you don't even know.
Even NDLEA doesn't know who they are.
Don't know. They are within you there, but you don't know them. They only know
it's like an intelligence service
embedded within the system. So that has really helped.
You know, Femi, I'm being reminded that I've been keeping Mazi Okoroa for waiting all this while. Good morning to you, Mazi Okoroa, and happy Easter.
Good morning, sir. You're happy Easter. Good morning, my brother Babafemi.
Thank you, Mazi.
It's a pleasure. Well, there is something I want us to look into, this issue of fighting this drug. Share will. I was asking some of my people around this. I said, where do you people take it? He said, share will. This share will that they derive satisfaction. How do you look at it? Now, frustration also contributes to all these things. Now, how do we stop all those things?
No. We don't know. We don't know what you mean by share will. Did you say share will?
Yes, share will. Yes. That's when they do. They feel that they have arrived. That is, they derive satisfaction in taking all this.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you come to TV show. You see, when you parade these people on the screen every day, every Sunday, I call it every Sunday, every weekend you must surely get drug story from my brother, Babafemi. every Sunday. That one is basic every weekend. Now, this TV show, don't you think it's another way of advertising all these drugs taken? Because when you parade people with all these people, the people, in short, the Nigeria have programmed themselves that every weekend there must be show on the television about drug peddlers from one country to another. Don't you think it's a TV show? Because as advertising, why am I bringing this TV show? Because if you see when Jam was advertising students that they caught in exam malpractice at the station now, I think they have stopped their case was to direct those things to police, not to come and parade people on television. Don't you think it's a show? And stop and start. I was very happy when I saw your men in one of these, I don't want to mention the place. They were just stop and search. That is people on KK motivation. But you should tell them, no matter how classical that vehicle is, they must search them. Not only KK, all the time. Everybody, when they are searching, they should search both Tom and Dick. And when you look at this issue, Kabars, do you think that this issue of Kabars, you could have tracked them? Because if you have tracked 70% of the Kabars, that is why you see drugs every day. Drugs, those who take these drugs in Nigeria, what are you doing? All these drugs you have recovered. What are you doing with them? Do you destroy them or you package them or you rebranded them or what? I don't know. When you package, collect all these drugs,
okay,
what are you doing with them?
Let's give Femi a chance to win.
It's very, very important. And the Kabars, please, Kabars, find the solution on how to destroy it. If you don't destroy the Kabars, I bet you, although you are trying, you are doing a very nice job. But the question is how to destroy the Kabars.
Okay,
Thank you.
But I think by cabals, he must be talking
Cartels.
about drug cartels.
Yeah, the barons,
and all the barons and all of that.
Yeah, okay. Where do we start from now? Do we start from him?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from him because he raised a number of germane issues. One, the publicity of the arrest and what have you. They actually they serve quite a lot of purposes. One is to inform and educate the people as against what you think they are probably exposing people to some of these things. No, even if you don't discuss them on air like this, the social media is there. All the information, everything. That's why quite a lot of our young people, a lot of the young people don't even watch television. They go on social media. That's why they learn all of this is from. So we need to also create other platforms. Even though on the social media we have gone there, the NDLEA is there, and that's why we hold what we call Twitter Space every Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. to engage with the young people because they are there. That is where they are. They are a target audience. So we go there to give them counter information, the authentic information as against what they are consuming online that is misleading them. So that is that. Then again, when you see some of these things, it also provide deterrence. It's a deterrence for those who are into this thing that, look, you see your colleagues arrested today. What it means is sending a message to you that it could be your turn tomorrow if you don't back out. So those are part of some of the benefits of some of the things we do to educate the public, to inform the public, and also to deter the would-be offenders. That is that. Then coming to the cabal, I'll tell you that if that is the cartels now, if there has been another strong point of the activities of the agency in the last 2 years, I'll tell you it's about targeting those who call the cabals, the cartels, because more than ever before, the agency has gone after them. And in the last 2 years, I can tell you that we're taking out of circulation more than 40 drug barons. That is huge.
When you say take out of
that is...
Are they serving sentences? What do you mean take them out of circulation?
Now, taking them out of circulation means they have been arrested. They are either, there are quite some of them that were mentioned in some cases now. Some of them are facing prosecution. They are facing trial in court.
Okay.
Some of them are facing trial on bail. Some of them are facing trial right from the prison where they go, prison custody where they go. But beyond that, we've been able to cripple their activities because one, they no longer have, because now, unlike before, now we don't just go after the drugs, that is seize the drugs, arrest them, deny them of their freedom, but we go after their assets, the funds they have in the bank. Billions of naira.
That reminds me of something you put out very recently. Did you say something like the authority, NDLEA, has applied to the courts to freeze 800 and something million naira?
Yes, we free everywhere, everything they have acquired through through the process of this criminal trade. We go after them and make sure that we deny them the benefits of their criminal trade. So we go after them, we go after the drugs, the exhibits, we go after all they have acquired, either the money in the banks or the properties they bought, their vehicles. So we seize all of these things. So that crippled them, that they don't have the means, they don't have the resources to go, and do this thing again. That's what I mean, taking them out of...
But they might have, not that they might, I'm sure they have international connections as well.
Yeah, you see, at that point, because they are already everywhere, it's difficult for them to operate. Not that it's difficult for them to operate that they used to do before. Mm-hmm. And having said that, again, I will also go, okay, he talked about stop and search. That is one other thing that General Mara has also strengthened in the agency. Okay. That is going beyond those on the streets, because we also discovered that even some of these things that found their way into the country, they move them from one location to the other. And we discovered that over time, because of security checks on the road, some of them even go beyond taking them in their luggages. They plant them in the tires of the vehicles they drive. Some plant them in the engine. So
the agency is up to all of these devices.
We made several of those seizures.
Okay. Elder Davis, apologies for keeping you waiting, sir. Good morning and happy Easter.
Thank you, Yorin.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
God bless you, sir.
Go ahead now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yorin. I'm very grateful. What about Femi is very correct. Nigerians have talent. What is more important is who gave them the power to do their job. Marwa is a man I respect. Marwa, yes. Those are one of the people we are talking about. When we are talking of Nigeria, Nigerians have the best brain in the whole Africa, even in the world. If we appreciate their efforts. We talk of people like Kawo when we talk of politics. We talk of people like Tinubu today when we talk of politics. Marwa you are seeing today because somebody in government gave him the power. When you have that power, forget about Kaba. Who is Kaba? Some group of people want to frustrate the efforts of somebody else. When people like Kawo were there, they were Kaba. They couldn't because you know what is good for the people. Just like Tinubu is coming in now. They're nothing like Kaba. Marwa, what he have done, he was in Lagos State governor. We know what he did. The Marwa you are thinking, Keke Marwa today was named after him. When he came to NDLEA, before he came there was a mess up. Yes, today he's one of the best in the whole world. American gave him an award.
Okay.
I so appreciate what he's doing.
Thank you.
And the man there, Baba Femi, may God bless all of you there.
Thank you,
Amen. Thank you very much, Elder Davis, for calling in. You know, I want to bring in some other aspects. I know that there
was something Mazi Okura for mentioned. That is okay. What do we do with seized drugs? Because there was you also may ask something about the Korodu seizure and all of this tied together. So I think we need to clear that.
Yeah. That's what matter about. And then after that, you probably come back to your latest operation. Where in social media, I saw some accused. But you can't really take too much seriously on the most social media. But they were saying that, now you're mentioning names. You never mentioned names in the Ikorodu situation.
Yeah, I think I'll wrap all of that up.
Go ahead.
This. Now, Mazi Okorafor, seized drugs, they are warehoused until the case involved is finally determined by the court. And when they are determined by the court, we go back to the court to act for the order of the court to destroy them. Okay. And the court gives an order to destroy them publicly. And when they are destroyed publicly, we invite members of the society. We invite the media, we invite the clergy, we invite traditional institutions, NGOs, CSO, everybody, including our international stakeholders, we invite them and they witness these public destructions. Like, that leads me to the Ikorodu drug seizure.
Yes.
The cocaine, the 2.1 tons that was seized in Ikorodu, actually, that's the biggest that Nigeria has ever recorded. And that's why we had to approach the court soon after it was out of a total, we seized there a total of 2,139 kilograms. That's 2.1 tons, over 2.1 tons. And out of that, the court said...
Of cocaine?
Of cocaine,
okay.
Pure cocaine. Now, because we had to approach the courts that, look, we have this volume. This is the highest in the history of the country. we cannot take risk because we know that from the investigation, from the intelligence that led to, a lot of people didn't know that that case was based on pure intelligence, and we worked with international partners, especially the United States Drug Enforcement Administration, USDEA. They were part of the intelligence gathering and everything up to the point. That was why that operation was clinically done without any casualty. That was an international syndicate operating in that remote part of Ikorodu. But that does not mean that they did not have local stakeholders. For those who are conversant with this, is the way they operate, this international cartel operates, they have their foothold, have their own local stakeholders who do the local runs for them while they are out there in some other jurisdictions. So we followed all of this up to the point that we were able to mop up 6 members of this syndicate, including even a Jamaican.
Okay, that's in Ikorodu.
In Ikorodu. So there were people, I mean, there were videos, so it's unfortunate that much later I started seeing, even after we had filed, the matter is already before the court, the people involved are already standing trial. So there is nothing hidden about it. So, but unfortunately, because because of politics, much later, we saw some people trying to, read political meaning or even attach somebody to it or all those kind of things. We don't do that game. Ours is pure professional game. And this thing, there was no way the NDLEA could have even tried to shield anybody because it wasn't something that was handled by us alone. We handled this with the USDA. So would NDLEA have tried to shield somebody and the USDA also trying to protect? No, they don't add up at all.
Peter, apologies to you. You've also been holding on for a while in Benin. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Good morning. Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
You see, this many thanks to NDLEA, but I will not sugarcoat matters. I probably will give Mawa 50 or 55. Why? Because you see, someone like me and most people have been involved in drugs from any stages, class 2, class 3, class 4 in the secondary school. All right. So what I think they should be doing, unless we're going to just be dealing with when they started taking the drugs and how to deal with the drug dealers, because drug dealers are going to be dealing drugs forever to the end of time. From the fathers of the drug dealers, they will hand over to their children. Those will hand over. So that's going to keep on going on. But how you can prevent it from coming is if you don't have so much people wanting to consume. What I think the NDLEA, I just pray that you can tell Mawa what I'm telling you like this. What I think NDLEA should do is they should have programs yearly for children. They should go to the schools and let them know the effects, the bad things. They should educate them. Some children don't know. I started smoking cigarettes because I thought, it was the in thing to be a guy. That's why I started smoking cigarettes. From cigarettes, you go to marijuana. From marijuana, most likely you go to cocaine. So what they need to do is to they should go to the schools. They don't go now. They don't go. They should go to the schools from class 3, from JS3, SS1, SS2, SS3. Tell them about drugs and the negative parts of drugs, the things that will happen, that will affect their lives. At that stage, you might even cut off 50% of the people that are going to end up using the drugs. Because most people tell them, don't smoke, it's bad for you. Why is it bad for you? That's why you have to explain. I can't explain to my child that deep. But even though I used to be a former user of the drugs, I can't go that deep. But the NDLEA can go that deep and say, come, look, this is what it is. By the time they get to SS2, take them to the prison for a walk around the prison. Let them see how people are living there. This is where I'm going to end up. I think that will solve the problem. As for Mawa, I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'll give him 55. He did well in Lagos, that's different. But for this one he's doing now, he's 55 because they are not overwhelming him.
Thank you very much, Peter, for calling in from Benin.
Thank you, Peter. I'm not sure if Peter started with us on this program, he would have actually gotten this information from our initial comments. I did say then that indeed we don't just face drug supply reduction or even demand reduction, we also face prevention, which is what he is talking about. And if he follows us on social media, you will see that
there are also programs.
There are all our commands across the country, including our collaborating NGOs, civil society organizations. These are people we work with to go down to the schools across the country. They're everywhere. Every day is everywhere. Now, if you follow our social media handles, you will see weekly we produce what we call NDLEA Weekly Review. It's just snippets of all our WADA activities, taking these messages to all the schools, communities across the country. We produce it in 5 minutes video, which we share every Sunday evening.
So that is actually being done now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say if he follows us, he will understand.
But what Peter's saying that, look, I'm not just talking, I mean, we've been there, done that, and he's out of it now.
Yeah.
He's
someone that can relate.
He's saying that he can relate to it, and he thinks that what you're doing, I imagine, can be intensified.
Absolutely. That's what we're trying to say is this. It's not just about the NDLEA law. Even Peter, as somebody that has experience, somebody that probably has survived it, you have something to do. You have something to tell because you can relate well with this problem. So you also can play a role in your own little corner. We have quite a lot of Nigerians doing that in partnership. You can approach the NDLEA office closest to you in Edo State, either in Benin or in our area command, that, okay, when they are having programs in schools, you would like to go along with them, or even when you can organize, you can approach schools to want to talk to them about your experience and invite NDLEA to join.
Like a private sector initiative.
Yes, that's why quite a lot of people do. That's what is called a whole society approach. Getting and mobilizing everybody to take ownership of it. You own it. It's not just about NDLEA because this is beyond what, I mean, a simple
it's more than government business.
Yeah, no, it's
now
not. It's
our business.
God bless you. So we have to do it that way and approach it that way. But we're already doing what Peter is saying, even though we appreciate his comments and what he's saying. Very well. Okay.
Well, you know, there's so much, and I don't want to start and not be able to finish this kind of us. We didn't get to one area that I wanted to go to, which is, having talked about the recreational drugs, so-called, I wanted to go to the hard drugs. We talk about heroin, we talk about cocaine,
methamphetamine.
Exactly. Crystal meth,
ice.
Ice, those kind of things. But we don't have the time anymore now, and we're going to have to devote time to that. Because hopefully those ones are not as prevalent as cannabis.
No, definitely. Cannabis is the most abused in Nigeria.
Well, and also the most available.
Yeah, because it's grown here. And people also still import them, especially the synthetic variants, what we call loud, Canadian loud,
so
Colorado.
People have to watch out. Well, I don't know that they even know that they are actually consuming synthetic drugs, which can be dangerous.
Them don't know. They just believe they are consuming cannabis. They don't even know that some of these things are synthetic.
Well, I want to thank you very much for coming along, Femi.
Thank you.
It's an invaluable, conversation that we've had. Some sort of, given an inkling into the extent of the work that's going on. But when you come back, it can't be as long as the gap you left between now and the last visit.
Definitely.
Because we have to talk a bit more about this to keep it up in line with what Peter was saying, in line with what your objectives also are, to keep people informed. Thank you very much. Femi Babafemi, Director, Media and Advocacy, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA.
Thank you.
Again, happy Easter once more.
You, my brother.
So there you go. That's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.